What's up, guys? Welcome back to Unbreakable Grind. It's your guy CJ, man. I'm going to get straight into it. Today, I'm going to be reviewing a video of billionaires telling you and I that college is not necessary to become successful. All right. Now, my reason for doing this is I hope that I can save a lot of you guys' lives. Okay. I've watched people follow this information. This information barely ever works. I'll give reason as to why this doesn't work and why there's a better strategy. Okay. These strategies will leave you working for these guys that are saying that you don't need the degrees. All right. They're going to say, hey, you don't need college. And then you're going to end up working low-level jobs for these guys. All right. So let's get into it. Hopefully I can save some people, help some people, give this perspective because I'm watching a lot of people not reach their potential because they've been manipulated or falsely interpreting this information. Okay, there's a disconnect between these very wealthy guys and reality because most of you guys are coming from where some of these guys come from, and most of you guys are dealing in the environments that these guys are familiar with. All right, and with that being said, let's get going.
Well, oftentimes business education today, and I see it all the time, kids come out of college, the best colleges, Wharton and Harvard and Stanford and some of the great business schools, and they'll come out and they won't have practical experience. There's too many case studies that aren't practical. You know,
Okay, so Donald Trump said that a lot of kids are coming out of top universities and they don't even have practical skill. One thing I want to say is if you just go to college, okay, most degrees in college are useless. I need you to understand that most degrees in college are useless. They have no use. They're a waste of time. I don't care if you go to a community college and get certain degrees. I don't care if you go to a freaking state college to get certain degrees, a private college, a freaking Ivy League college. Some degrees are completely useless. And if you go to school for one of those, you're really wasting your time. That's one thing. Two, he said that a lot of kids are coming out without practical experience. You have to do internships in college in order to get the practical experience. Now, this is what I want you all to understand. A lot of people watch these videos and say, oh, you're going to college. You're not even getting practical experience. I'm over here changing tires. I'm getting practical experience because I'm doing something in the real world. Okay. I want you guys to understand that there's a distinguishment. There's a distinguishment that's happening. Okay. There's a such thing as high value roles. There are some jobs that pay that don't pay up to 100 grand. There are some jobs that pay over 100 grand and even higher. Okay. There's a gate barrier. There's a barrier to $100,000 plus jobs. There's a barrier. That barrier is a degree. So if you go work for Donald Trump or you go work for any of these guys in this video, they're going to ask you for a degree, right? If you want to get over 100 grand, you're going to need a degree, but they're telling you don't need a degree. But the first thing they're going to check for is your degree. And what I need you to understand is if you are a minority or underrepresented person, you need a degree even more. Understand that you need a degree even more. I'm going to be honest, okay? I love America. I love the country. I don't feel like it's an unfair place. I'm okay with this place. I feel like there's a lot of possibility, a lot of opportunity. But if you are a minority and you have the audacity to think that you cannot get a degree and you can walk into these guys' businesses and make more than $100,000, you're out of your mind. Even if they tell you themselves you don't need a degree, they're going to require a degree. So that's what I need you to understand. You got to get in reality. You don't try to find a shortcut. Don't screw these guys in the shortcuts they're talking about because it's going to screw you. You have to get the degree because the gatekeeper needs a degree. They look and say, hey, do you have a degree? Now it's more specific. There are specific degrees that they're looking for. They're looking for the hard technical STEM degrees. That's what they're looking for. You walk in and you've got an English degree. They're not going to even take you still. They're still not going to take you. You need specific types of degrees. You have to get internships so you have the practical experience. Without those two, the right degree and the internships, you're going to be living a life that is much more difficult than it needs to be. I'm telling you the formula to live in abundance in America very easily. And you can use that to become a very successful person. I won't get too stuck on that, but let's keep going, man. I'll ramble on later.
Ask kids that are 16 to 18 years old to make $100,000 debt decisions when they go off to university. And they're not prepared for that. They don't know what they're getting themselves into. They just assume, okay, I'm going to pay 4 years of education at $25,000 a pop, and when I come out the other side, somehow I'll be able to pay it back.
Right.
That's not how life works anymore.
Exactly. So what he said is, kids are going to college and they just come out with $100,000 in debt. They don't even know why they're in college, and it ends up being a waste of time. All right. I'm here to tell you that all you need to know. See, the problem is that people are doing what he's saying. That doesn't mean college isn't important or useful. That just means that there are people using college incorrectly. Actually, mostly everyone is using college incorrectly. Mostly everyone is going to college for degrees that don't pay. Mostly everyone is going to school for degrees that the industry does not need. Mostly everyone is going to school for degrees that are fun, or for degrees that are not challenging, or for degrees that do not move the world forward. So of course we have this big issue. We have people coming out not even knowing how they're going to pay the $100,000 in debt. But I can show you a list of hundreds of thousands of open engineering jobs that all pay over $100,000. Even if you go into $100,000 of debt, I still paid it all off within 1 year after, and I'm still a millionaire 5 years after. And you can do it too. But don't let a person trick you into believing that you can go anywhere without a degree. Because every time if you ever find yourself trying to elevate to top salaries and without a degree, you're in for a rude awakening, especially if you're a freaking minority. You're not going to make it. OK, and I don't think it's just what it is. OK, it is what it is. Stop taking shortcuts. Do it the right way. Do it the right way and go to school for the challenging things that no one goes to school for. There are hundreds of thousands of open jobs paying hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you can go get in debt. Who gives a F as long as you're getting the right degree? Okay, as long as you're getting the right degree, the right skills, get your grades, keep your grades high, and get an internship. You're going to have practical experience from the internships, and and the internship is going to be almost guaranteed because of the grades in the correct degree, and you're going to be able to pay those loans back. All right. So with that being said, let's continue. Do not ruin your life with this stuff, man. You have to be careful. Okay, you have to be careful. All right, don't use an anomaly as the rule. These guys are not normal people. These are anomalies. If you think you're them, and I'll get to that later. All right, let's keep going.
There's no need even to have a college degree at all, or even high school.
There's no need to have a college degree or even high school. That's great. There isn't a need. Besides the fact that every job that you want, every job that's going to pay us considerate amount of money wants a freaking degree. Do you know how dumb you would look to listen to Elon Musk tell you that you don't even need a high school degree? It's not necessary. I understand what he means. Maybe he meant something else, right? But to tell me, a young African-American male, that I don't need a high school diploma. Do you know the statistics on African-American males with no high school diploma? You're setting me up to be incarcerated. I'm telling you, some guys can be so freaking out of touch with reality in circumstances of others that they can ruin your life. If you take their information out of context, you will ruin your life. I've watched people already ruin their life, thinking that this information made sense and applied to them. It doesn't. It simply doesn't, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can be a multimillionaire if you follow the steps and don't take the shortcuts. Like I said, there are hundreds of thousands of jobs that are wide open because Americans don't choose the degrees that matter, that don't choose the difficult paths. Everyone wants to be a YouTuber. Everyone wants to be a freaking rapper. Everyone wants to sing. Everyone wants to be seen in the spotlight. No one wants to freaking create all of the difficult things to solve the difficult problems. But everyone wants to drop out of school and say the degrees don't matter. And that's why mostly everyone is freaking struggling and poor. Most of the world. Most people don't have a savings account with a significant amount of money. There's no excuse for this. It's just no excuse. Do not follow this, man. I'm giving you guys a game on the channel, man. I changed my own life with this information. I'm not selling this information. I'm giving it to you. I don't know, I'm giving you the information, man. This is my actual strategy. Okay, if you think you can drop out of school, not go to college, not go to freaking high school and become Elon Musk, man, you're out of your freaking mind. Okay, that's an anomaly. It's not even a strategy. That's just a dream. That's a delusional dream. All right, let's keep going.
I mean, if somebody graduated from a great university, that may be an indication that they will be capable of great things, but it's not necessarily the case. If you look at, say, people like Bill Gates or Larry Ellison, Steve Jobs, these guys didn't graduate from college. But if you had a chance to hire them, of course, that would be a good idea.
Yeah, the only problem is when you go apply for the job, they're gonna ask for a degree, and you can try to be as impressive as you want, but it's probably not gonna work. That's just the reality of it. All right, I built all kinds, before I graduated from college, dude, I built all types of freaking software systems. I built freaking apps for the App Store. I had freaking robots I made. I freaking had made custom garage open freaking apps that were freaking home Internet of Things projects that I did that freaking worked when I was anywhere in the world. I could freaking control my freaking house and garage. I made all that freaking crap. None of it got me a job at all. Okay, none of it got a job. I had plenty of practical skill. I had all kinds of freaking skills. All of that. I already had a high school degree, and none of it freaking mattered, because as soon as they asked for a degree, I didn't have it, and I was just a minority with no degree. It was as simple as that. You can say whatever you want, but that's just the truth of it. Now, you can go out here and start your own business. That's fine. Go start your own business and become super rich billionaire, right? The problem with that is that there's a very high risk. There's a very high risk you're taking on for no reason. So the problem is, like most business, less than 1% succeed. Why would you take such a risk when you don't have to? You can go and get a guaranteed 100,000 plus, grow that salary at a young age, become a millionaire before you're 25 or 25 years old. And as a millionaire, then you can go start a business, and you've got practical skill because you just used the skills for his business. You got the degree so you can work for his business, make the guaranteed money. You stack the guaranteed money. Now you're a millionaire. Now you can go use your $1 million and your time and your skills that you just used for him, and you can go and start your own business. Why not do it that way? Why listen to him not go to high school, not go to college, drop out, struggle for the rest of your life? Then you go ask him for a job, don't get a job because you don't have a degree, but they told you don't need a degree. And then you just sit here and you're looking like an idiot because you thought you were going to be the next Elon Musk, and you're the next statistic. You're just the next statistic. Nothing's impressive about not going to high school. Nothing's impressive about not going to college. Okay, nothing's impressive about screwing yourself and being convinced that you can be a billionaire without a college degree. I understand it's possible, but surviving in space might be possible too, but don't try it without a helmet. All right, so let's keep going.
I think having the flexibility to explore a lot of different things, which you can do when you're in college, which is one of the amazing things about being in college, is you can work on all these hobbies and code a lot of stuff and try a lot of different things. It's this amazing flexibility that I think most people take for granted. And once you decide, okay, I'm going to start a company and I'm going to do it with someone else, you immediately now need to convince someone else if you want to change your mind on something. And I think people really undervalue the option value and flexibility. I think explore what you want to do before committing is really like the key thing, and keep yourself flexible. And no, I think that's. I
agree.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg is like that was impressive. And all of these guys, I'm taking everything they're saying. I don't know the whole context. All right, so they might have what they're saying. What they are saying could be different if I saw it in context. But I'm just evaluating these scripts at these short clips at face value. With that being said, I like what Mark Zuckerberg said. All right, that flexibility that he's talking about, that's very important. See, what you really need is you need the degree, because that's just going to get you past the gate. But at the end of the day, the degree really doesn't matter. What matters in college is that you're really going and getting that skill, that practical skill. Meaning you're trying to create things, you're trying to make things, you're implementing things, you're trying to create products. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to collaborate with people and create things, right? This is what matters. So at the beginning, Donald Trump said no practical skills happen. People leave with no practical skills. That's because they're, one, not going for the right skills and degrees that the industry needs. And two, they're not doing what Mark Zuckerberg just said. You're supposed to be doing that in college, networking, working on projects, building, trying to build businesses. You're supposed to be, that's the correct correct way to be in college. And that's how you take advantage of all these things in college, right? So then when you step out into industry, you're not yet an entrepreneur maybe, but you at least have a skill set that's interesting to the big entrepreneurs. So you can work for those guys and you can start getting these high salaries. You can then use that money to go ahead and do what you need to do, go far as you want to. All right. So I like that. Mark Zuckerberg, hats off to you. I like that.
I mean, it's actually kind of funny. You know, if you think of like what is education, like you're basically downloading data and algorithms into your brain, and it's actually amazingly bad in conventional education, because like it shouldn't be like this huge chore. You know, someone's standing up there kind of lecturing at people, and they've done the same lecture 20 years in a row, and they're not very excited about it. And in fact, I think a lot of things people learn, probably there's no point in learning them, because they never use them in the future. Because a lot of kids are just in school kind of puzzled as to why they're there.
Yeah, so I want to break down. So the thing about Elon Musk is you have to put things in context. Okay, he's saying, kids don't know why they're there, and you know, school is just learning algorithms, and you don't even know why you're using them, and you might never use them. All right, you have to understand the context of Elon Musk. Elon Musk was a kid that sat and read every book about freaking rockets as a kid. I think I saw some freaking piece of information where Elon Musk had read every book about rockets in an entire library before he was 13 years old or something like that. So that's not normal. What I need you to understand is if you at 13 years old, okay, if you are an anomaly, then you can listen to an anomaly. You might be able to pull it off. If you're 13 years old and you've read every book possible on your subject of interest, every book possible, you can't find a single other book by 13. All right, and you're in school and you're just sitting there and you're like, I don't need any of this. I know I want to go to the freaking Mars. I know I want to go to Mars. That's what I want to do. And they're teaching you some stuff that you don't even need to know because you know you want to go to Mars and you've read every book about freaking rockets. Then if you're that exception, then oh well, you know, then I applaud you for leaving high school, not going to high school and not going to college. What you have to realize is most of us did not do that at 13. I didn't do that at 13. I believe I was quite advanced at 13, but I was nowhere near what Elon Musk was, where Elon Musk was at 13, nor did I even know that that was a thing to be. I was never interested enough I never was as interested. I never was a freaking anomaly of a kid to that extent. All right. So for me to listen to that advice would be detrimental to my whole life. All right. If for most of us to listen to that stuff would be detrimental to our whole life. So what he's saying, right? He's saying kids are twiddling their thumbs, don't even know why they're there. Yeah, that's the main reason they need to be there. Okay. Most kids do not know how to focus in on some subject and learn the subject enough to be able to manipulate it and test on it and experiment with it. So that's what school is for. It's going to help kind of build that discipline, because most of us don't have that discipline naturally by ourselves. Most of us do not. And I think school helps bring that out of us. Okay. And that's the whole point there. Let's keep going.
People who are doing the work that we care about are figuring out what to do next, not following the person who told them what to do next. And the problem with most colleges is they are high school, but with more binge drinking. The entire purpose of a good university is to give you a foundation to fail, not a foundation to get an A. And if you graduate from college with straight A's, you have to do some serious soul searching as to why you chose to spend your time doing that.
All right, so that's an interesting point too. He said that college is a foundation to fail, or not a foundation for you to succeed. I don't really get his point with that. I honestly don't even, I can't even follow him at all on that point. But he did say that people are, new generations of people should be thinking about how we do things next, not how we do things now, given from a previous person. That sounds great. All right. If you're watching this video, that emotional appeal, that emotional statement, that statement sounds great. I think it's an emotional appeal, but it doesn't actually make sense. So if I'm thinking about this from a context of like a high complexity skill set, like an engineering, some kind of STEM type of, some type of STEM chemistry, science or something like that, you have to learn the basics and fundamentals to ever have a chance to move forward and then innovate. Okay? And innovation before you can ever innovate, you have to learn what has happened up to this point. You have to learn the equations that are up. You have to learn the equations that exist in the limitations of the actual physical environment that we're living in. You have to learn the physics that exist in the physical environment that we're living in. You have to learn the the way the chemicals interact. So depending on what you're doing, you have to really fully understand the system you're dealing with. And that comes with a certain level of education. You have to learn the mathematics behind it, the sciences, whether it's the physics or the chemistries. You have to know that, and you have to know how to speak the language. If you can't speak the language, how do you communicate the thoughts to other people? All right, I understand that it's great to say we should be thinking about the future and not the past, and from what this guy said and all of that. But when it comes to these highly complicated topics, there's no shortcut. There's no way to get around actually learning the past and learning the way things are done. In engineering school, I saw a lot of guys complain as to why we have to learn this way, why we have to learn this that way. But technically, without learning all the fundamental principles, all the physics, all of the calculus, the language, all of the electromagnetic field theories, all of the programming languages and object-oriented programming and without learning all this stuff, you would have no way to actually move things forward because you don't understand how things are even where they are now. You don't understand that computers are running with transistors and how logic is actually interpreted and how CPUs work. How could you innovate things when you don't even understand how things are now? Okay, you have to understand that. So my whole point is, the reason I'm saying that is this is an emotional appeal that will make a lot of you make a terrible decision. I've watched people make terrible decisions based upon this. Do not watch this and say, yeah, that's true. I should be thinking about the future. No, you should be thinking about the freaking past and how we came about using the scientific method. How do we use the scientific method to discover and unravel everything we know today? How did that come to be? How do I use those strategies to then apply to the future? And how do I actually take where we are now and revolutionize that in some way? Okay, if you don't do that, then you're going to be pondering and wondering why you're not as smart as you could be, and you can't even tap into your intelligence because none of your thoughts will ever lead and connect to reality because you don't understand how we got here in reality. You don't understand it. So you must understand it. You have to spend that time. You need to spend that time as young as possible, or life's going to be way more complicated than it has to be for you. You're going to feel like life is harder than it needs to be. People are taking advantage of opportunities that you feel like you can't get a grasp of, that you can't be a part of because you never learned to speak the languages. You never learned to take on it. You never learned to understand the world around you. Okay. So what I'm saying, do the things the hard way, man. Do the work. Do the stuff others won't do and you'll get the results, man. I'm telling you, it works every time. Let's keep going, man.
The A students work for the B students. The C students run the businesses, and the D students dedicate the buildings.
It's like the dude.
A students work for the B students. C students run the business, and the D students dedicate the buildings. I'm a believer of that. So I do a lot of preaching about school and stuff. I graduated magna cum laude. Yeah, I graduated magna cum laude engineering school. No, I just was cum laude. I wasn't magna cum laude. I was cum laude. So long story short is I graduated cum laude, but I wasn't like the best. I wasn't like an A student. I was like a B, C average student for the most part. You know what I'm saying? And I was like that because, like I told you, I was always building stuff. I was always trying to build a business. I was always trying to build products. I was always getting things on the App Store. I was always building stuff. So that's true. I believe what he's saying is really true. And as soon as I got money, I paid off my debt. I started buying real estate, yada, yada. So I was like a B, C average student because school wasn't the most important. But what I did know is that it was a barrier. The gatekeeper would be looking for that degree. I also know that the gatekeeper would be looking for those skill sets. And I want to set myself up and package myself like all the successful people do statistically. Statistically, the successful people, the most successful package of people or group of people are gearing themselves in a certain manner. And that's how I wanted to gear myself so that I can statistically have the best opportunities and statistically have the best chances. Okay, and the odds were with me, not against me. All right, and that's what you need to be doing. All right, dropping out of high school, dropping out of college because it sounds cute and they're saying it wastes time, man. It's gonna screw you. Statistically, you're gonna fail. Okay, and in reality, everyone I've seen do it fails. All right, so listen to me and let's keep going.
Newspaper industry, right? More printing presses, more big buildings, right? Makes us look grander. We have brains that we're putting them out there. there's a point of diminishing returns in terms of what it's worth for a college education and how much debt you're willing to saddle yourself with.
A lot of people follow. A lot of people.
I don't know what he was. So pretty much when it comes to debt, I know debt is a big issue when it comes to college, but all you need to look at is what's the demand on the degree you're pursuing. All right, what's the demand, and then what is the pay? What is the pay and the demand? I talk about this in another video. Okay, make sure that is more than the debt of your. And this is another thing. Don't go to an Ivy League. There's much data showing that people from Ivy League schools are not making more money. They're not making more money. They're just paying more to go. Okay, so what I need you to understand is go to the cheapest college possible, a freaking public university, pay low prices. Okay, you can get out of these schools even if you have to pay with all loans. You can get out of some of these schools with 30, 40 grand in student loans. If you use all loans, no scholarships, no Pell Grant. And most of you are eligible for Pell Grants, meaning most of that can get paid. If you're lower income, you can get this stuff paid for free. So please listen to me. Go to the cheapest college possible and take your work serious and go into some of these STEM majors that are going to pay you. Okay. And all this talk about the debt and all that stuff, screw that, man. You're going to get a job. You don't want to go for English because they're going to screw you. You're not going to find the right job paying the right money. But if you go for engineering or you go for a good STEM major, okay? I'm biased towards engineering. I talk about engineering. That's what I went to. I know that it will get you 100 grand in your freaking sleep if you do the work, all right? Because all these guys that are talking on these videos, they need engineers right now, all right? There are hundreds of thousands of jobs, all paying more than $100,000. And guess what? You can be one of those people in that at a very young age, saving that money and becoming successful. Let's keep going. See what 50 Cent got to say.
People are followers. Generally, if not, we'd have problems. We have too many entrepreneurs. We have too many successful people. Like, look how many people go through business classes. If everything you needed was in that actual business class, in that book, it'd be too many successful business people. Right. How many people graduate? Matter of fact, the professor wouldn't have the time to sit there and teach you. That knows this book damn near verbatim, page by page, he knows it, right?
Because he'd be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, he's too busy. I'm doing way too much right now because I got the palm trees and we selling so much of the stuff that I'm doing that I ain't quite got time to teach no mother class right now because I'm winning.
And so when you
And I see his point here. So what 50 Cent was just talking about is business, all right? He's specifically talking about business and entrepreneurship and how it relates to college. I do not think college is the best vessel to go directly to focus on business. I need you to understand that, okay? College is so that you don't mix business. You can mix business with college, but think of college this way. College is where you go to make sure that you have skills that you can use, that the market needs to guarantee yourself a great living. Okay? So when you're in college, you're thinking about what do these entrepreneurs that are talking, all these successful entrepreneurs that 50 Cent and Donald Trump and Elon Musk, what do all these successful entrepreneurs, what do they need? That's where the demand is going to be for the job market. It's going to be what those guys need to make money. And they're going to hire you if you have those skills because they need those people. So that's why you want to go into the STEM and engineerings. They know that they have to pay these top dollars for certain people. There's no way to get around it, or they can't make money. They need these people. They need people to automate. They need people to scale things. They need people to simplify things. They need people to do projections. They need people they need it. There's no way to get around it. So that's your play. Your play is to go in and take advantage of the fact that entrepreneurs need you, and that's why you're in demand. You want to go to the skills that they need, not want. When you want something, okay, maybe I can get it, maybe I don't. If I need it, I need it, okay? And those people need certain skills. That's what you're in college for. Don't be in college for business, okay? I'll tell you in other videos how you go into business, okay? You go into business once you save up your money by saving the money. Using the skills they need to save them, to freaking save the money, pay off your debts, empower yourself so that you can be an entrepreneur by paying off your debts, getting some basic investments in place, and now you're free to do whatever you want. Now that you're bossed up because you're independent and financially independent, now you can go start to network and do business. All of this learning how to do business as a kid with nothing is a waste of time. So I totally agree with 50 Cent on that point. Being in school in business class is a stupid thing to do. You shouldn't be in business class. You should be in a STEM class, learning the skills that are needed the most. Okay, and of course, I know there are exceptions, but what I'm telling you is in STEM, you're almost going to hit right on the money almost every time, especially in engineering. And I know I'm biased. Let's keep going.
You walk into a boardroom with a bunch of guys in suits who all went to college, you're fine.
Yeah, I mean, because they read a bunch of words. I've lived a bunch of life.
Well, that's true. Their law degree doesn't intimidate you, in other words.
It kind of evens us out, whether they know it or not.
Where do you think you get that self-esteem from? Seriously. I mean, most guys...
My mom, first and foremost, but then just living life. Like, you know, being in real situations and happen to be a person of high integrity and honesty and, you know...
You never embarrassed yourself?
No, of course not.
You never walked in and said, "Oh, everybody thinks I'm ignorant here. I'm stupid."
I don't feel ignorant.
Right.
You know, I don't.
Right.
I felt like I came up in a situation, or a time, you know, where I wasn't afforded certain opportunities, and if afforded opportunities, I could be Oprah. I could be Bill Gates. I could be Warren Buffett.
When we
Yeah, so as we saw, we have Jay-Z here, and I'll cut it off after that clip, man. I won't do the whole video, but we've got Jay-Z here. He's pretty much saying, and I agree with him on this, he's pretty much saying regardless of whether he went to school or not, he still does not feel intimidated and feel down by other people who went. He still thought highly of himself, okay? And I want to say that you don't correlate your personal, you know, your personal esteem, your self-esteem to your degrees, okay? I'm not telling you guys that you're failing or that you suck or that you're a loser or that you should feel intimidated if you didn't go to college or you didn't complete a STEM degree. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that a lot of people want to be very successful but they aren't equipping themselves with the tools that make it easier to be successful. Okay? It's almost like wanting to be buff and have muscles. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like wanting to have muscles, but not ever going to the gym. All right? All I'm saying is it's possible. You probably can show me a person who's buff and never went to the gym. But what I'm telling you is if you don't go to the gym, there's almost no chance you'll get buff. You get what I'm saying? You almost need a gym, most people. And in the same right here, if you want to become a millionaire, if you want to actually get to 100K salaries at a young age, lower 20s, and you want to actually accelerate far forward and be able to invest in all this good stuff, statistically, almost everyone that does that has to go to college and they have to go to specific degrees. Okay, you can show me anomalies, but I'm saying this is the rule for the most part. So with that being said, a lot of people want to be successful, but they want to be buff, but they don't go to the gym. And it's literally psychotic. It's literally, it doesn't make any sense. So what I'm telling you is you need to go to the gym. What I'm telling you is you need to go to college. You might not want to go to college. You might say college is for everybody. College is for everybody. I don't know where that freaking crap came from, okay? I'm no more equipped for college than you are. Okay, like Jay-Z said, believe in yourself. All right, understand that your circumstances are why everyone doesn't start in the same spot. Your circumstances are not what mine are. Mine aren't what yours are. That's the same for everyone. Understand that you can be confident in that, and understand that even if you feel uncomfortable in college, you still should understand that your life is as valuable as anyone else's, and you can take your life into your own hands. You can take your trajectory of your life into your own hands, and you can literally win and be the best out here, man. You can actually put yourself in the top rank when it comes to earning, when it comes to investing, when it comes to success and opportunity. Anyone can take advantage of it. I'm a black African-American minority living a lot of abundance, more than I've ever seen personally at a young age. I'm a millionaire. I'm investing. I'm enjoying my life. And I know if I can do it, all of you can do it. Please, if you like this information, if you like this content, please subscribe. Please like, man. I don't know why I keep saying please. I did that in another video. But please like, please subscribe. please comment, man. And I look forward to talking with a lot of you guys and seeing a lot of you guys as you traject and succeed. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know if you like this content, man. I'm very passionate about it. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video, man. Peace.